Testing. Okay, cool. So we're recording boys. Hello, hello. What we doing?
What's
Good,
going
man.
on?
Sunday, June 7th, 4:32 p.m. I'm in New York. Where's everyone at?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte? Charlotte,
Yeah.
North Carolina. Where the best backyards happen, apparently. We got some good ones that we found in the ether. But today's episode, we're talking Backyard Ultra. Um, this series is talking about all things related endurance, kind of chasing goals. You guys are pretty elite athletes in your own uh kind of lanes. You guys are at HYROX athletes. You are training massively, like all the time. And on your Instagrams, your Strava accounts, like you just are putting up numbers, and it was proven and shown in the Backyard Ultra, I think, what just cross training can do. And I think, and now you guys are entering more of the ultra running scene. Like, what does that look like for you guys? But I just want to just talk about you guys for a second. If you want to introduce yourselves, Tyler, you go ahead. Like, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, man. Name's Tyler Thompson. Um, been here in North Carolina the past couple years. I would say my background as far as athletic wise, I started playing football in middle school, played through there, and as a I wasn't necessarily super competitive, but I feel like as I was in sports, it was the one thing I came to the realization that, oh man, there's a lot of things in my life that I can't change, but the one thing that I can change, I was blessed enough too, was the way that my body looked and the way that I could perform. And seeing everyone else get after, I was like, dang, like, I can do the exact same thing. Why not? So, um, just was in that environment, and it really just pushed me to a certain point. Uh, as I continue to exercise, I really had my focus around school. So I ended up going to college, getting a degree in finance. But within that, I still loved exercise. Yeah, I still love exercise. But within that, like, I didn't want to do collegiate sports. I just not just the route that I want to go.
Hmm.
So just continue to go heavy with just exercise. I actually, when I was in school, I really just hit heavy with strength training, and I was trying to way between going to the military. Kind of made some jokes about some military stuff when we were running yesterday, but like
Really?
I was really, really planning on. I wanted to be an Army Ranger, so I
What's that?
said, okay, dang, I need to start running, or like I just cannot make it through RAST. I won't be able to make it through Ranger School. Like there's no way I can get through any of that. So I found Nick Bear, and I saw he was a big, exactly, yeah. I was like, there's no way this dude is this big and you can run. Like you can run a marathon like be that big. Like I just didn't
Yeah,
think
he's
that was a thing.
huge. Yeah.
So I saw his programs. I just got off of this huge strength block with Wendler's 5-through-1, and I was like really strong. I've never been that strong since then. Like I was extremely strong, and I said, okay, cool. Like let's get ready for the military. So I signed up for a half marathon. At the time, it was a Little Rock half marathon, and then from there, I just started to just run, and from
Legit.
there, it just kind of just switched in. Just the it's the love-hate relationship with running at the time, and it's building up to it, and then before you know it, you just bought in. I think everybody has that piece where you have that experience of running. If you genuinely continue to run, like you're just bought into the journey. And then I ended up going a different route, just working and going through corporate and whatnot. And man, it just continued to compound before you know it. Now you're running ultra marathons. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little spill.
Hell yeah, bro. So yeah, that's one thing about this too. Before we get to Austin, is like the different backgrounds that ultimately lead to this sport, and I think there's so many. Because I think Austin will talk about it, but like the soccer to ultra running pipeline is hot and ready and fresh for anyone to join. So Austin, what is your background in sports, endurance, and like fitness in general?
Yeah. So we all live in Charlotte, but I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. So up in the mountains. I've played soccer my whole life. Like I played club soccer. Highland Football Club is the club up there. Um, yeah, I played all the way. I played high school soccer. So like my whole life was just all soccer, basically.
Sure.
I think I wanted to go pro, but then I finished high school. I was having trouble getting recruited. There was, I wasn't like a top player at the time. I think I was good enough to play somewhere. So I ended up playing at the school Denison in Ohio for one semester. It was a Division III school, competitive conference. But like, I think I was just up there for a while, and I was like, it was winter, and it just never it stayed cold for months on end. And I just remember being at a training session outside and being like, I've been cold for 2 months straight. Like I'm done. So I ended up calling some of my coaches back at home from my club, and I was like, I got to come back. I want to play at UNC Asheville. Ended up working out. I ended up transferring back. Now I finished my career playing in my hometown for Division I school. The story there was basically I came in as basically a second semester freshman. I think I played one game when I came back. I think I got on the field against Furman with like 8 minutes left.
Nice.
And I was just like, okay, these people are aliens out here. Like they were so good. And I just like it was a quick realization that I was not at the level to be playing. So I think I had one more very average to below average semester of playing. And I think one day we were playing at Radford in Virginia or something, and I was sitting on the bench. And I was thinking in my head, like, I'm not bought in right now. Like, there was just something in my head. I've been training all the time, I'm traveling all the time, just not playing. There's a lot of ups and downs, I think, with playing college sports. It's not all good. Like you experience a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And at that time, I was struggling. So I took a semester off. I didn't play. I walked into my coach's office. I'm like, I'm done. And so I quit for a semester. And something in me was just like, I just got in the gym and I just started running and training crazy, crazy hard. And then I got in really good shape, went back into his office after that semester off. Luckily, he let me back onto the team, and I ended up playing basically almost every minute of every game for the rest of my career at that point. So I went through a lot of mental, I think, reawakening, just getting back into the gym, getting my fitness level up because it was just not where it was at the time. I was blaming a lot of stuff. I was blaming my coach. I was blaming my team. I was blaming everything else other than myself. That semester off, just getting in shape, doing what I needed to do was what I needed. So yeah, I came back and I think I was just like it was like in my mentality, like I'm not the best player out here, but I'm going to beat everyone in every fitness session.
Really?
Like no one's gonna beat me in these suicides, no one's gonna beat me in the gym. Like that was the way I was gonna make a name for myself. So I think a lot of that mental stuff led me to HYROX after college. I went through a period of time where I was not doing anything, and then I refound fitness again a couple years ago. Then I got into HYROX, and then it just escalated really quickly, and I was doing a backyard ultra with you guys. So that's kind of like the general story without going
Yeah.
too crazy in it. But I do think the soccer, like you said, the soccer pipeline to ultra marathon, there's got to be something there.
Yeah. It's like, it sounds like you were like breaking up with someone. You were like, no, time to hit the gym. And then like you found yourself in the gym and then you went back. And luckily, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Your coaches must have loved you because to let you back on when you quit is like kind of,
Nice.
you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
not easy as a coach, maybe.
No, and definitely not. But I think I had, I think that type of thing probably happens a lot where you can just be stuck in a rut as a player and be in a bad mind frame, like I was saying, blaming everything else but yourself. And I think the time off and you lose all this. So you don't know what you have until it's gone, I think.
Yep.
And I think he just had the grace enough to see that I'd put in all this work and that I probably made a mistake. And he gave me a second chance, and I could have it might not have happened that way. I think if I didn't get in the gym and kind of like prove that I was trying to better myself, it probably never would have happened.
Shout out your coach.
Yeah, math is
He's
mental.
what's that? What's his name?
Math is mental. I'll
Shout out
throw
him.
his name out
Thanks
there.
so much
Yeah.
for letting the boy back on the team. That's awesome. Yeah,
Hey,
and we met
man.
and then we'll get into, how we got into the backyard, but like we met during Mustard Tigers. Shout out the Mustard Tigers
Oh, yeah.
and Karen for putting us on the winner of a team. I don't know if we won a season together, but I was on that kind of like Sunday league for a bit and then just met you through that. How did you hear about that team?
Oh
Like
man,
random.
I don't know. I actually can't remember, but and that was a period of my life too where I was like post college soccer, and I was basically throwing my entire self into my work and just neglected my health. So I think I can't remember exactly how it happened, but maybe it was you. I don't know, but someone got me to do that.
Really? Yeah. Like I feel like and Tyler, I mean like I was in corporate for a lot. I think we're all kind of corporate, but like we know the corporate lifestyle and it's kind of like tough to you really want to dive in your early 20s. You're like, I work because I'm going to be a beast and like that's all I think about and like I don't know, you just in this grind set. And then eventually health starts to become because you're no longer able to recover from a hangover in like a day now, right?
Yeah.
And health becomes really a huge factor. And you're like, oh man, maybe I should start taking vitamin D supplements and looking and listening to Nick Bear's hour and a half podcast.
Yeah.
So like, what is like Tyler? When did it kind of shift for you, or was it? It sounds like it was always there, but like, when did it kind of shift for you to like lock into health, or was it? Yeah, was it always kind of there?
Yeah, I feel like it was always kind of there. I didn't really I think there were seasons where I didn't put fitness at like I don't say the pinnacle,
Mm-hmm.
but that like was my focus. There were times where my fitness had to kind of take, I guess, a backseat relative to, let's say, your average gym goer who is just, I'm in the gym, like let's just get like 30, 45 minutes in. Like, I don't really have a goal. I'm just kind of here, check the box. Like, I think it's a different level of intentionality whenever you have a goal in the gym where you are in a prep, you're signing up for a race, and you're getting like 8, 9 plus workouts in a week, and you're like really pushing it. So I feel like there was seasons where I wasn't trained for anything, and there's definitely just a different focus for that. So there were seasons where, especially um, post undergrad, where I was not really, I never raced. It's like just really not a ton of direction fitness wise. So okay, cool. Well, I'm just working right now,
Mm-hmm.
just trying different things. When I graduated, I actually did some Olympic weightlifting.
Oh,
And Olympic weightlifting and long distance running just do not go hand in hand. They're two
that's a
completely
toughie.
different
That's the
things.
hybrid athlete. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll do more sprint focused work, and then let's do some snatches, some clean and jerks to try that. Um, but at the same time, it really wasn't my focus. Like I was like, okay, I might sign up for an event, and kind of push to see where I go, but just didn't find myself really loving it as much as I really enjoyed running and just the fruitfulness out of that. So but long story short, I would say it's been something that's always there. Uh, and it just kind of ebbs and flows the seasons when I have more time and more space. And it's like, all right, we're just gonna run through this wall and like go as hard as we can with it. And there's some times where you have to take a step back. And I think it's healthy because you can't go 100% all the time, and you will break down. We aren't 100% sponsored athletes, and this is our full-time job. If you have to have those seasons where you're washing off of that. And so,
Ain't
but
that
again,
right? Not
says,
the full-time job.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
Yeah.
it's also interesting. Like we're not in like I see a lot of really high elite level athletes, and they're like PT trainers, or they went to school for nutrition, or they kind of live and breathe it, like it's their job. So we don't like we kind of have that advantage, disadvantage, whatever, of just being separated from like the science of it. Maybe as though I'm sure you guys study it too. How to fuel your body and stuff. But it's like I think that aspect is really cool. Is like it's not every day that you're living and breathing this, but you're still able to perform in it. And it's like you have a balance. Like we have other lives, we have other things going on, but we still get after it. We still hit goals and like and can like put something on the calendar and work towards it. And honestly, that's what I found is like the best way for me myself personally to work is like go something on the calendar and then I'm working towards it. Otherwise, it feels really just kind of like I'm just floating and I don't know
It
what I'm
makes
doing
it
with my
easy.
body.
It makes it easy to skip a workout. I
So
will say.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we can, and we'll get more into it because like, so the backyard ultra. Let's talk about it. So, I'll tell you guys how I went into it, but I want to know how you guys like found out about it and like how you got signed up because I know there's a culprit here.
I guess yeah, I'll roll with this. Uh, I was actually flying back from Arkansas. I'm from Arkansas.
Mm.
Been here for the past couple of years before to raise Arkansas. I was coming back home from Arkansas for the holidays, and to be honest, I had just finished watching um, Surrender. This VPN, the Surrender film, and I was flying back in, and I just sat back, and I was like, man, I think I'm 100, like I'm so blessed with just I am so able-bodied. I can do. There's nothing that I cannot do at all. Like all things aside, there's nothing that I can't do if I just prepare for it. Like, why can't I do it? So as you were flying, we're landing. I just looked up Backyard Ultras in North Carolina, and I was like, let's see what's available. And I saw one,
So
and I was like, let's just send it. Like, what's like,
yeah,
why not? Like,
And then you must have DM'd me pretty shortly after that,
yeah,
because I was gonna say you were the culprit for me signing up.
yeah, bro. I think it's airplane. I was just flying too because I obviously I'm in New York and I just this week I came. Airplane travel experience will have you so inspired if you just throw on a movie while you're like flying. Anything you throw on, you're like, man, maybe I should get into cooking. Or Anthony Bourdain
yeah.
was a genius. Like whatever. Like it's yeah. I think it's the flight that got you, but I think yeah, you already wanted to do it, so that's fire. Yeah,
Fact, I was telling my family about it, and it's like
yeah.
explaining to them, and they just obviously do not understand
Don't
why I
get
would
it.
even want to touch anything like that. And it's just, I know you're not going to get it. I'm going to yap to you about it anyways. But my mind was already made up. Like, there's no reason why I can't do this thing. Why I can't just step into the arena and just attempt. So just do it. That's exactly how you grow. You just have to, you just have to be willing to step up and just to see what it's going to be like. So.
When Austin, when you like he messaged you, were you like, what is that? Or like, what was yeah, what happened?
I think I sat on it for like a day, and then I
Yeah,
responded back, I think, and I was like,
left them on red.
like, let's do it. Like,
Yeah, let's go.
I'm ready to go. I mean, like, I think I've been ever since college soccer ended. I've been searching for just
Mm,
something to compete in, and especially like just if someone asked me to do something like that, like I'm most likely gonna do it. So it was an easy decision for me, and like I mean, I think even before that, I've seen like the Cocodona type like long
hell
multi-day
yeah.
race documentaries and stuff like that. So it was a pretty easy decision for me. And doing it with Tyler, I was like, oh, he's a dog, like I'm gonna do this thing with him.
Let's
That's fine.
go.
Wait, I'm curious. What were your guys' like volumes of running before the race, which was in May?
So like before, and I think Tyler will agree probably with some of this, but like even like before even training or thinking about the backyard, I was probably running like 20 to probably like 15 to 30 miles a week, for
Okay.
like the past little while. And then we both signed up for HYROX in Miami, I think in April. And then we had the backyard lined up basically the end of May. There was like a 1 to 2 month gap in between those. And we I safely built up my mileage from 15 to 30 to basically 40. And I think I peaked like 40 to 50 miles a week or something like that. Like the problem was I was running like 40 miles a week, but I was doing like 2 HYROX sessions a week, preparing for this HYROX that was in April. And I think we both kind of knew like we were not going to get a full dedicated training block for the backyard ultra. Like it just wasn't going to happen with the HYROX. So yeah, like 40 miles a week for me. I think Tyler, I think you might have been running more than me.
See, I think, but I mean, yeah, you're 100% spot on with like HYROX is such a huge demand on our body. Like, oh my gosh, you don't really in the moments like it's okay, cool, I'm fine, but just the recovery behind it and just how much just your nervous system just cooked every single workout, and it's just such high effort. It was hard to balance too whenever you're not necessarily like you don't have a dedicated program for you. Like I'm gonna do a full assessment on this person, and they give them a full program, assess all your weaknesses, and build from there. You're kind of freestyling your exercises too, trying to figure it out. So you have to balance between how much do I want to build in running, how it's a runner's race until it isn't. You still need
Mhm.
to strength train. You still need to do your HYROX station workouts. So it's such a huge demand to juggle all that. And then we know knocking just very slowly down the street, we've got an ultra marathon. So, but yeah, I would say I think I signed up in December for HYROX Miami, and from there I was doing like 15, 20. Like I was not running. I would definitely have a
Mhm.
little more weight on me at the time. And then I built up to 45-ish. And then whenever we got into last man standing prep, I touched a 60-mile week, and then it was just kind of back and forth between like the 40s and like the 50s. It was kind of like a
Yeah,
back and forth. But yeah, it was never like, okay, cool, let's give 5 months and give it everything we have and
Yeah.
just
be
running, yeah.
confident. So, but yeah,
I obviously don't know too much about HYROX, but I know what it is and like all the circuits and like the different stations. But do you like if you had to break it down for someone to be like, okay, they've been doing HYROX and they want to do ultra running, like what aspects of HYROX, obviously all the leg stuff and just strengthening of the lower body, but like what is it specifically? Do you guys have like insights now that posts you're like, oh, I was able to crush 30 miles or whatever the case, like longer than ever, but like I wasn't doing huge running blocks. So like how did that translate over, I guess, right?
I can give my perspective. I don't know if I'd be like giving out advice or anything like that because I think I've never had a good HYROX race or a good ultra race like for me personally. But like so like what happened to me was this was my that was my I'd done a HYROX doubles last year in Atlanta, and it was a good experience. It was really fun. I left not feeling like super gassed, and then I signed up for this solo, and you just the volume difference is gigantic. Like when you have no rest, and long story short, if you're doing a doubles HYROX with someone, when they're going on station work, you're resting. So that is a lot of rest over the course of the entire race versus if you're doing a solo, you have no rest and you're doing every rep. So those two things compound big time. And so I was actually probably over indexed on running in the training up to this solo that I did in April. I was super focused on running, and I was thinking in my mind, like, and this is just me being naive with HYROX. I was like, you know what? Like, I'll survive the stations. I fancy myself as a runner. I'm just going to go all in on running. I'm just going to run as fast as I can. And I'm just going to survive the stations. That's what I was that was
Mm,
my approach to the whole thing. And part of that was like, oh, well, I can up my running mileage to 40 miles a week or whatever, and I'll be a little bit more prepared for the backyard when it comes around because I'll have safely built up to a decent base of running. Well, it turns out, especially I think the solo HYROX, if you're a runner type person, it's really easy to underestimate the strength volume, the damage that happens to your legs and just everything with that much volume. So yeah, in that race, long story short, like the sleds are notoriously just really challenging, and it's the very beginning of the race. You build up a massive amount of fatigue. The sled pull was like almost a max effort for me. So yeah, pretty much I couldn't really let my legs loose. So all of the running that I had done prior to that, like my legs broke down so much during that solo race that I was basically just I was cramping and trying to survive essentially. And so, if I would run it back and if I was doing another solo HYROX, like I'd be doing a lot more station work, a lot more sled technique work, be doing more deadlifts. I'd be getting a lot stronger. So that was the HYROX experience in general. And I think there's some conflicts between HYROX training and ultra training in many ways. I think there is probably a big conversation about like I know the hybrid training and everything like that, but I do think that there's a big trade-off and it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand. I'd be curious to hear y'all's thoughts on that too.
Yeah, I mean, the HYROX Miami was rough. I think it was it was not easy.
What were y'all's guys' times? Flex on them.
There's no flex.
Bro,
I'm
doing a
on them,
HYROX is better than 90% of people. So there is a flex.
I got so I did open solo open. I did hour 24:29.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And I did a pro solo 127 and some change.
What are those different? Open solo and pro solo, like just no pro, right? In the second one,
it's just a little bit more weight in the pro.
I see. Gotcha.
But it makes so much difference. Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine. When I was competing, I cannot imagine. I was thinking about Austin's weight. I'm like, if I literally was doing this weight, I would not be able to do this race. Like it was so challenging. It was, you go into the race, and we'll probably talk about this too with the ultra, but again, you just don't know until you're in it. And luckily HYROX is fixed, and you know the stations, you know the setup, you can see it.
Right.
You know the environment that you're in. Everything is fixed, and it's one of the most controlled environments. And that's one thing I did not respect or even think about for some of these races, is that piece. So then you're going into training and you're going into prep, and you know exactly the ordering of the stations, you know the weight. The only thing that's going to change maybe is going to be the carpet, and the only thing that's going to change is maybe that one judge that is kind of annoying you a little bit. But besides that, everything's pretty consistent. So I feel like going into the race, I was a little cocky because I thought I was going to be strong enough for the race, and I was just so ignorant. I was so ignorant. I was like, dude, I'm strong. Like, I should be able to cruise this. I'm going to jack up the mileage. Like, I'm going to be cruising, get to the stations, just BS the stations and just push through them. That was just not the case at all. It was the complete opposite. There's just a certain level of disrespecting the race and knowing what it feels like to run on extremely tired and fatigued legs. I never put that much effort and just strain on my legs, and some max effort at the time felt like max effort 1Ks after every station. Everything uses your legs. So there's just a different level of, in my opinion, just diligence and making sure you're diligent with your training, doing even just measuring out the distances and making sure what is 200, what is 100 meters of walking lunges look like? Is it 100 or 150? I forgot what the distance is.
It might be like 200. Like I can't remember.
Yeah, like what does 200
So
meters of walking lunges actually look like? I don't think you've actually mapped
seen
it out what it looks like. So whenever you show up race day and you see what 200 meters of walking lunges looks like, you shouldn't be surprised. And that was my where I was cocky and where I didn't fully prepare, because I shouldn't go on a race day and be like, dude, this is a bigger bite than I expected. So there's those pieces. And again, to the point of the transition from HYROX to Ultra, you could probably pick some specific exercises that may have some carryover, but it's different, and it's just a completely different ball game. You have to it's a completely different build, and it's a completely different mindset stepping into, especially a backyard from a HYROX, and it being that controlled and that variable aspect. You can you can have it exactly down how long it takes you to complete your wall balls, how long it should take you to complete your lunges, how many reps it's going to take, um, and have everything dialed in and know exactly where you are. The backyard, all that goes out the window. It's just literally how strong your mind is in those races. Prepped in with your fitness.
Yeah, I didn't think about that factor, which is the um variables of what's controlled and not controlled. So the control, and it's just like, yeah, you're indoors. The equipment's the same. Yeah, like you said, a judge might throw you off, but like everything's pretty controlled versus what we saw was nothing was controlled on race day with a 6-inch mud and you thought there was going to be a sprinkle. So that's a really interesting. I hadn't thought about that one as like controlled variables versus non. And then, obviously how prepared you are for those variables, which there's way more in the ultra scene because you're outdoors. You're just, the nature and the environment is yours to take on, and you kind of have to be prepared for anything. So I would love to get into like the training and the prep for this. So post HYROX Miami for you guys, and for me, but I post always, but like my background was just like I've been running for a year, marathons, and really kind of did my first 50K in January, and that was about it. But that was pretty straightforward. It was all dry and whatnot, and just like, yeah, just straightforward. Nothing crazy like what we experienced. And so I trained like that as well. So I definitely want to hear about your guys' training blocks. Like what was, because there's also a mental aspect to this, like ultra running, it's slow, it's drawn out. There's a whole, you have to rest for 10 minutes time period. And then the fueling is like, you have to eat even when you don't want to eat, right? Because you have to fuel your body to be able to keep running. So if you guys have insights on those, I'd love to hear some of that stuff post, pre, how you kind of went about it. And then we could talk about after, like what you learned of how accurate you were with your predictions of how you should train.
Yeah, I can kind of like probably blow through this a little bit.
Yep.
Like basically, so my rough split was like I'm gonna train 6 days a week. I'm gonna rest on Friday. Always have one rest day. I had like 2 lower body strength sessions. So like Monday I would do a lower body strength, and Wednesday those were dedicated, and then Sunday I would have a upper body strength day. So I guess 3 dedicated strength days a week. Um, so and then I was running basically every day other than the Friday rest day. During HYROX, my Tuesdays and Thursdays were HYROX training sessions that I didn't add anything else to because it was so much volume. Once HYROX was done, Tuesday and Thursday turned into like me just trying to get more miles, where Tuesday was like more interval-y or like a tempo session or like fartlek kind of stuff. And then Thursdays I go to a run club in the morning. Thursday was just like a easy run, just trying to rack up miles. Um, so yeah, two lower body strength sessions a week, one upper body strength session a week, running every day, and then Saturday was like the dedicated long run. And like I was saying, I built up the miles slowly and safely. Like I didn't just all of a sudden go to 40 miles a week. I was like adding some here and there, creeping up. So that was basically like transition out of HYROX. I was like, okay, 0 HYROX training sessions are going to be occurring when this is done because it's too much fatigue. And I just spent all that time on running, basically.
Yeah, I would say general build, yeah, it was pretty similar. I'm trying to remember my HYROX split. I want to say I was running 5 days a week, and I did 2 HYROX workouts. So I removed the 2 HYROX workouts, add another day of running. So we were at 6 days running, and for the most part, I was doing an upper lower split. So just upper body like on a Monday, and then Thursday or like a Wednesday would be a lower body. I would say that split worked pretty decent. Um, I kind of backed off of the upper body just because I wanted to give as much time as I needed just to recover. And I don't need my upper body for the ultra. It was just to look a certain way. So there was no point.
Look good for the photos.
Literally it. But outside of that, I would say the maintaining the strength that I had coming from HYROX definitely helped. It helped just my joints stay strong. It helped my ligaments. It just helped my just force production in some way as we were sliding through the mud for 8 hours. I would say that it did help, but but yeah, that was the. I did some. I was doing tempo workouts, and I kind of just dropped off the tempo workouts. I'm not too sure why. I wasn't too focused on the tempos. I really wanted to. I just wanted more pure mileage. I just wanted to get more time on my feet. We did the 30 mile sim, and that was good to simulate just eating and getting in that lap mentality. But as I look back at it, I do wish I would have done a little bit more heat training, just being out and picking some inconvenient times to exercise in. It would have been good to go out like, man, I got to crank out this 12 miles and it's 90 degrees out. From a regular training standpoint, it wouldn't make a ton of sense. Before we were going to walk into, it would have made perfect sense to do that.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, we could talk about the simulations too. So we did one big simulation where we met up at our local park with a tent or two, and then just like ran for how many laps did we do? Forget.
God, what's the math on that?
you 7.5.
Yeah.
We did like 7.5. I think we definitely hit 30 for sure, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And so yeah, we just did 30. We cranked out 30. It was great. It was a very nice day. It was kind of overcast and a little sprinkly of water, so it
Yeah.
felt really nice. I think it definitely was like I was not drinking enough either way, but it just was. It was too perfect. It was too perfect
It
for
was
what we
bad.
got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad.
bad in the way of
Too
like
too
just
good is bad.
too good is bad. You want bad. Like you're saying, like you want to run 12 miles in the middle of the day when it's 90, and you want to be like, this sucks, but that's good. Sucks good.
Mhm.
Bad good.
Yes.
So what do you guys first simulation? What did you kind of like prep? What was your biggest like focus? Obviously just feeling the laps, sitting down, just getting used to that. But like particularly, was there anything that you really were looking for in those simulations or the one simulation?
I'd never run that far. Before we did that sim, I have the furthest I've run was a half marathon. So
Mm,
I just wanted to purely feel like, what does it feel like to run this long? And then
right.
everything else I was trying to do was just stuff I'd seen on Instagram, stuff I'd seen in YouTube videos. Like that's all I have to go on. So I'm like, people are saying that it's hard to eat, you need to gut train and all this stuff. So I was like, I don't really know. I'm just gonna follow that. So I was kind of out there just trying to like feel my way through the whole thing because I just had I had no experience. And so yeah, I was out there trying to feel the miles, and I was trying to just eat as much food as I possibly can, which is funny because like the eating thing was a very big issue that I ran into during the
Mhm.
backyard.
Yeah, I think I've done a marathon, so know what 26 feels like, but it's different. Marathon 26 is different than a backyard 26. I would say the marathon 26 was in a fixed environment, like I would say the park that we went to, right? Like that was pretty, in my opinion, that was pretty fixed because it simulated more of a road, much more road running than what we experienced.
Yep.
So within that, I mean, I really wanted to fuel again, gut train. I really wanted to see if my muscles would break down how it feel moving that slow. Because then again, ultra pace is different than tempo pace. Sometimes you get thrown. your endorphin pros and start ripping some fast miles, and then you're feeling pretty decent. It's a a little bit, it's harder, but it's just different. It's much more different versus, okay, let's run slow for 8 hours, and we're gonna run slow and crush your ligaments and your bones down, and you're just gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
So just wanted to see what that felt like. But outside of that, I want to see if it was gonna see how I was gonna deal with the heat. It was 60 degrees, and it was sprinkling a little bit and
So
no
nice.
humidity. It was just the perfect day at the park.
Right.
So we could experience that.
Yeah.
And I think if we were able to experience some pretty tough conditions, that would have definitely changed our perspective a little bit going in. But then again, how do you prepare for that mud, man?
Yeah. And I also
Yeah.
think with that sim, it was like, I want to see how fresh, like my goal going into that was like, how fresh can I be the next day?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to prove to myself, to know like how much further do I think I could go after going 30. And like you said, the conditions changed that whole thing. But so it was a big illusion, that simulation run, I would
For
say, for
real.
all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like running, trail running a little bit and doing the 50K and trail running, like I just didn't think about it. I was like, so if we can do road running for 8 hours, we could do road running for trails 8 hours and mud, anything that's thrown at us. It just didn't click. So now it's hindsight. And whenever we go and do a simulation or just long run, like just pick the trails first of all, and then you will get the variation. You'll get like you have to pick up your feet more, and then be aware of the weather. Like, hey guys, we're gonna go trail run, but like, is it gonna rain? Okay, cool. We gotta like keep that in mind. So the road running option was good, but we just need a little bit more trail because, and it's tough. Like in Charlotte, North Carolina, y'all, river, like Jamie, you can clip this, but in Charlotte, North Carolina, there's not a lot of great trail running. You have the Whitewater Center, you have Ann Springs Greenway, which is paid to get in. It's a private Whitewater Center, basically. And that's about it. We were talking before the pod, me and Austin, like there's a Crowder's, which is an hour away, that has some trails, but that's great elevation and great training. But apart from that, like, where are we going to get some trails? It's tough.
Yep.
Well,
My
tough.
biggest pet peeve was Charlotte.
Let's bulldozer through some parking lots and just build trails, kind of like mountain bike.
Yeah.
Like start a petition, something, because we
Yeah.
need more. Hashtag we need more trails in Charlotte, North Carolina. Something. So
Are we gonna get into some like reflections about the backyard? Because Tyler and I were talking yesterday about just like, just the things that we would do different, like with what we know now.
yeah,
So
we can go.
yeah,
We
I
can go
can
into
say
the
that.
race.
Yeah.
Let's set the scene. Who wants to set the scene for like what the happened that day and that morning? Because it was a. Let's set the scene. Who wants to set it? Raise your hand, or I'll do it. Go ahead.
I can start for a second.
Go ahead.
So it was like the day before, I want to say, the race. Well, first of all, we did the momentous backyard ultra in Monroe, North Carolina, on Williams Rushing Farm. If I think
Yep.
that's correct. And so D'Angelo Williams is out there, I think, with his foundation and stuff. I think it was the third year that this has been done, maybe third or fourth.
Third.
So it's out there on a farm in Monroe, North Carolina, in Union County. Yeah, it's just a farm. So as you can imagine, like it's not perfect conditions up there. That's just like sets the scene. But I think the thing that got me was the day before. I think the race director was kind of saying, the conditions look good out here. The trail looks amazing. I was on
dry.
the call. I was on the call the night before. It was like, we're so excited that there might be a chance of some sprinkles, but other than that, the trail's in perfect condition. And so that's what I was going in. I was going in thinking that. So I'll let someone else take the rest of the way. So that was the setup to the race.
That was Tyler. What did you think that morning? Like, what did you think?
So first off, this is going to be completely my experience. And this is me as a person, right? So I'm usually running about like 5-ish to 10 minutes late on average. It's hilarious. It's so funny.
That's
So
hilarious.
I'm driving in. I wake up early, like, oh, it's go time. It's game time. We're dialed in. Let's go. So I take the dog out. I'm getting my stuff out. The last little bit that I had that wasn't already in my car. So I'm driving in. We got an hour. It's okay, cool. Got an hour. I'm supposed to get there at like, I want to say like 6:55. Like I was gonna have a good bit of time to sit down, kind of get my bearings and everything. But I had to stop at Harris Teeter, grab some ice for my water. It's okay, cool. Grab some ice real quick. I don't know what I was doing in that parking lot, but I killed some time for sure. S- I'm throwing it's all this. I'm telling you, all this sets a scene for just like what is going on. So throw the ice in there. Um, okay, cool. Bam. Throw everything back in the car. Driving momentous, dude. It gets like I'm like 10 minutes out, 15 minutes out. Um, and it starts pouring. I'm like, no way. I'm like, I'm like, no way, it's pouring rain.
The hardest rain.
Hard.
And again, to set this, we had been checking the weather 3 weeks. I've been checking the weather like 3 weeks in
Yeah,
advance.
yeah.
And every single day the weather changed and went from 75 and sunny, 85, 40% chance, 80%, 80 degrees, 90% chance of rain. And everything, there was no way you could prepare fully besides I'm just gonna bring all of my rain equipment and just make sure I'm ready for it. So you don't know what it's going to look like. So dude, I'm over here, I pull up and it's just pouring. And I'm just thinking, when it's like 7:15, I'm like, dog, I've got 45 minutes and this thing is packed. You just see all the cars packed out. Everyone's got, the I guess our base camp area is fully packed. Everybody's got their tents out. It's okay, cool. Now I talked to Austin on the phone. He just pulled up, some bringing everything out. So we get to our drop off, a little drop off point. We got like 5 minutes to drop off our stuff. Dude, step out and it's just mud. I'm like, no shot. Like, I think it's just you just walking in, you don't think any of this the day before. It's just beaming down, it's hot. I'm wearing, whatever shoes, just getting everything set up. So I quickly put on my mounted coats and then from there get everything um, put up into my tent. When I'm walking into my tent, it's literally like a trench from World War One. I'm like, there's no way that
Yeah.
like this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is absolutely, I was talking to Austin about this, you're running and you don't want to step in the mud, oh, let me be cute and I step in the mud and you're just literally 6 inches deep in the mud. It's covered,
No
it's
avoiding it.
everywhere. So put everything up and man, we're just all trying to get ready and set up. I didn't have my watch on. I've been wearing my like actual running watch, but I didn't have my watch on. I didn't have my drink stuff ready to go. And it's like 7:40, 7:45. And it's like, dude, I just need to get my stuff together. And then it just starts raining even harder.
Yeah.
But then but yeah, I don't know. Austin, how was yours like getting into the race today?
Yeah, I was gonna say like the one thing that really caught me off guard. Now I realize like why it's really important to have a crew, have people help you. Is the thing that worried me the most before any of this got started was the day or two before. I felt like I was running around like crazy, buying extra gear. Oh no, I gotta, and I'm like I'm packing the car up. I'm walking around. I'm just thinking in my head, like, this is time on feet that I don't want right now. Like, I was trying to chill before the race, but it felt like it was just nonstop planning. And then the morning came. I woke up early and whatever, but I still felt like I was rushing all the way up until like 15 minutes before the race, trying to get everything sorted out. So God, I just see now why it's so critical to have people helping you, and it's really hard unless you have a lot of preparation in advance and get your gear set up and everything like that. Like if you're doing it lone soldier type stuff for the most part, good luck. Good luck, cuz the preparation and everything. So anyway, that was the biggest stressor on me beforehand. Is I know like I'm supposed to be tapering the day or two before, but here I am running around getting my gear set up and everything. So the morning of, it's like, yeah, like you guys said, it started just absolute downpour, and I throw all my stuff in the tent and I'm just trying to get ready for the race and whatever. And so, yeah, I don't know. It just all felt chaotic. It felt hectic. And then I look around and I see some people in their tents that are just like sitting there, just like ready, have all their stuff ready. And I'm like, okay, there are some experienced people out here
Yeah.
who know what's going on. They've got pallets in their at the bottom of their tent, keeping them off the ground.
Ooh, that was a move.
So there are people there that were prepared for the rain, prepared for whatever conditions. So, yeah, I mean, and then we can get into the race, but that was roughly the prep. It was very chaotic getting to the start line.
I fully agree. I think, yeah, we all agree. Like, it was days before, getting the stuff, putting it together. You got other things going on. We're trying to work. We're like, this isn't our job. And just pulling up day of, I think I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning, like 4. Nothing crazy. That's how you wake up for races anyways, but you have to carry a lot of stuff. You're carrying a bin full of clothes, all the fuel, your accessories. If you go into the night, which thought we were gonna,
Yeah.
a headlamp, all the night stuff, blankets, cots, chairs, tables, water. You need tons of gallons of water at 4:30 in the morning. And hopefully you did some of that before, but it's just so hard. So you do need a team. I luckily had Mary Kate who helped me out, but even then, like, we were still like, damn, if we hadn't done a little bit of this pre-packing, that would have been really tough. So solo, I'm sure it was really hard. When Austin pulled up, it was pouring and he's just carrying boxes, and I'm looking at him like, we're both like, do you see this? We're making eye contact. And Tyler shows up and is got the trench. Like, what are we doing? And okay, so yeah, let's finish the start line. So we have to go in 10 minutes before the race starts, or 20, whatever, 10 minutes. Race director, John, Momentous Performance, is, giving the spiel, like, everyone be careful. This is a race, help each other out, all that whole stuff. And it's literally pouring, and hopefully maybe I can have a video of that, of how it's pouring. But we're just standing in the pouring rain, like, listening to the spiel, going like, are we really about to start what could be 8 to 15 to 20 hours of a race like this? It is not the little padded marathon with the nice little bib and the cute start line. It's just, it's hardcore. And like, if you're out there, you're out there because you want to do this. You want to get that, you got to get that work. And yeah, what did you guys think when you saw John just announcing the race and how it's going to start? Because it was crazy scenes.
I was buzzing. I was like, this is the craziest. Like, this is everything we asked for.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, I was anxious because I was still, when he was talking, I still didn't have my watch on. So I was like, dog, I need to stop showing up 5 to 7 minutes late. That's all I was thinking about. So he's talking, and then it starts pouring. I was getting more anxious. And then again, to your point, Oscar, it was like, this is not cute race day fit. I've got the new shoes on. I got on my icy white melted coats, and they were built for that job. And you're thinking about, oh man, they're gonna get a little muddy. I'm not trying to get dirty or anything. It's just pouring down. Like, dang, dude, this is gonna, like, it's a different race, and it has quickly brought me to reality. Like, no, dude, this is not like anything you have ever experienced. Like, you are in this right now. So whenever you put this watch on and get everything in, like, you need to quickly just re-level yourself and know that you're about to enter. We don't know at that corral, like, we didn't know what we were going to see when we started running through. My brain wasn't even prepared to to understand what we were going to be running through. I just knew, like, dude, I have to lock in right now, or this is going to be a tough day.
You're also thinking to yourself, like, the way the euphoria behind it for me is like, there's this massive mountain in front of you, like this gigantic mountain, like you cannot even see the top. And you're like, I'm just gonna start at the base You know what I mean? Like, that's all I was thinking in my head.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
don't
cool.
know how far I'm about to go right now. I don't know how long I'm about to be out here. I can't see the top of this mountain, and you're just about to just start. You just start at the base. You know what I mean? That's all that was in my head.
Yeah, I like that visual. Yeah, there's like a huge challenge to take on because it is open ended. And one of the things that with this episode, which I wanted to like really hone into, was this is like one of the best ways to get into ultra running. It's open ended. It's fun. If you bring friends, they can hang out, have some beers, even if they wanted to. If you're really just taking it cool, but it's so fun. Like apart from the rain, apart from everything, I think at the end of the day, it was really fun. The people there were having fun. Everyone was having a blast. Um, the crew has a lot of downtime. It's chaotic when you get in, but they have a lot of downtime and they're chilling. Like Mary Kate was reading. I know y'all's friends were like just chilling after we head out. So it's a really cool platform in a lot of different ways, and I'll keep talking about it. But I don't know if you guys agree in that sense, but I just know when we first started, I was like, this is cool. Like this is open ended. It's not a 50K. There's no end line. We're about to just go do it, and it's just so cool. I don't know. It's such a weird feeling. It's the unknown, and it's like the unknown is exciting if you see it, if you look at it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really cool, even for someone who has ran a lot and just has an understanding. But like I was like, this is weird. I don't know. It's a quick big question mark on the whole mountain. Like, what does the mountain look like? Is it round? Like,
Yeah.
what's on it?
I think the first 16 miles of the race was like a fun kind of festive
Mm-hmm.
party thing. Everyone was joking and having fun, and it was all good. And after that, I think the sun came out and everyone pretty much went dead silent. I think the party was over after the first 16 miles or so. So I do think the beginning of those races, it was so fun. I think everyone was just happy to be out there. I think it was good. I was actually worried about Caroline and Alex, like just sitting there all day, on
Yeah.
my behalf. That was
Mm-hmm.
a mental thing I had to deal with. So
I
yeah,
agree. Yeah, big
yeah,
time.
hmm
I was like, Mary Kate, you should go. I was like, come pick me up later. This sucks. And Betty was there, my dog. He was not happy. I have a photo of him. He got happy later on. But I felt that was one of the things I was like, man, it almost took a little piece of my brain because it was distracting me. I was like, this sucks for everyone, but we're here to experience that. Our crew, they signed up for it, but I still feel bad.
yes,
So mental block, something to work on as well. That's not necessarily race or racing related. It's more just like the logistics related, I guess. But
hmm
I'm glad you said that. I feel the same way, and I think maybe others might too. So, um, but people are out there, I think, at the end of the day because they want to be or they love the person that they're supporting. So it's all love at the end of the day, and I think leaning into that is cool.
Yep.
But that first lap was awesome. Tried very hard for maybe 50 steps to not get muddy, and then was like, this isn't happening. Stepped right into puddles, just wet immediately. I was like, we're not avoiding this mud.
hmm
No one's avoiding this mud. Getting
yeah.
splashed from people. I'm like, this is fine. Whatever.
And
This is it.
Tyler, you talked about it a little bit, but like shoes were a huge factor out there. I I've never thought about shoes being so important until this race. I started the race with Mount to Coast H1s. Awesome shoe. They're like a hybrid road trail kind of deal. And golly, man, like that mud out there, a hybrid shoe wasn't going to do it. And there was a lot of people out there with just regular running shoes. So, you know, if that's literally the single thing I would change for next time is if it is muddy out there or it starts raining, like you are much better off just go for the deep lugs. Like it's a long race, and what happens is if you don't have the lugs out there and the mud comes out, it is every step that you're thinking about. It's every step that your legs are tense. And then you fall, you take a little bit of damage. And if you're out there for hours and hours and hours on end, like think about it. If you are slipping every couple steps and you're having to bring your knee back into alignment, you're using your groin to bring your knee back, you're using whatever, your glutes or everything. That's like doing banded like monster walk reps. You know what I mean? Like the whole time.
Preach.
That volume's going to add up big time. And so that was the biggest realization that, and if I would give advice to anyone out there going into their first backyard ultra, show up with trail shoes with deep lugs.
Yeah.
The deeper, the
So, because
better.
I ended up switching, I think like mile 16-ish, I switched into some ultra trail shoes that had some deep lugs. And golly, I basically took unnecessary damage for like 16 miles and switched to those and felt a lot better. So that's my shoe spiel.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I felt the exact same way. I had the Mountain Coast T1s, and I remember talking before the race. I thought that they would be too much given the conditions. Like I didn't know what the conditions were. So like dang, like I don't really need these. Like they're too like the lugs are too big. I'm gonna get caught on something. So I was looking for the H1s and I couldn't find them. Thank Honestly, thank God that like I didn't, because I may not have even brought them. Like I don't know if I would have brought my T1s if I found the H1s. I had some on clouds. I forgot what they're called, but I have some on clouds that are more of a hybrid, and it's literally the grace of God, honestly, because I was I was like, okay, cool. I find these H1s. Don't really need the T1s. Like that's gonna be more for like true trail stuff. Couldn't find them. So okay, cool. I'll bring the T1s. Dude, I put those T1s on, and we were running through that first, like I want to say quarter of a mile, and I'm literally watching people with road shoes on take a step and just have no traction. And I'm stepping, and I'm thinking that's gonna be me, but I'm like, wait, no, like I have these lugs that are actually saving my life right now. So there was portions where I was able to run downhill and not even think about slipping for the most part. There was a couple of spots that I would slip a little bit, but there were pieces where, I'm walking uphill and I can literally run downhill and save myself some time just based off of the shoes I was wearing. We're not
That's
even talking
nice.
about
Yes.
this.
It's very
It
nice.
was just the shoes that I had on my feet. Um,
I literally remember during the race looking for Tyler. I'm like, where is Tyler? I'm in the back of the pack. I'm like, dude, Tyler is flying through
Mm-hmm.
these early loops. Like, I don't understand it. Like, my legs were not doing it with the H1s. And then, like, I think I got in one loop and Caroline, she was like, oh, yeah, I was a little bit worried about you. Like, Tyler got in a couple minutes before you. I'm like, dude, Tyler's flying out there and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's going on.
and it was literally the shoes. If I did not have those shoes, dude, I was chop shoes. Like, there's no way. Like, it was no shot.
Yeah.
But
I had some janky like a couple years old, like Nike trail running shoes that were just not it. And I have, I think I have like 3 different trail shoes sitting in different carts right now because I'm just waiting to pull trigger on one of them. But bro, that was it. I think Austin, you said it. So it's like domino effect. Banded, banded workouts for hours on end. If you slip, you're trying to, redirect your body forward. Uphill, and there was a spot where you get to like this wheat farm, remember? Or the wheat farm, wheat crops.
Deep
And
field,
there was
yeah.
wheat field, and then there's this uphill. It's pretty inclined. I don't know if you guys have any sense of it, but all mud, and you're trying to go up it, and it's just you cannot go any faster than what you can do with the current gear or step of mud that is in front of you. Like you cannot go any faster.
You're physics bound.
Yeah, you really are. You're environment bound, physics bound. You're in the matrix and you are not the main player at this point. It's crazy. And so huge is the shoes. And so everything's a domino effect. Like, I'm just going to throw out there that I saw, so shout out to Kalai, first of all, 33 hours, maybe something like that. Second place, third place, monster, follow him for so long and got to like chat with him for a second, but I saw him pee. And I go in my head, there's a porta potty at the top of that wheat field. Saw him pee and I was like, okay, I should be peeing soon. I was like, next lap or whatever, maybe the third or the fourth lap. I was like, I'm going to go pee. It took off minutes that then I had to try to make up to get back, which strained me more, which at the end of that lap, because I was straining more to go uphill after being in mud for so long, I cramped so I don't know if I could swear. I think I could swear. It's my fucking hard that
Yeah.
a random stranger had to hold me up. Mary Kay was like hitting me with the gun. I
Yeah.
was like, this is it. I've been here before. I'm done. This is it. And so, yeah, you guys, we haven't talked about how I went out, but I went out at 6, missed the 7th lap by 10 seconds. And I'm pretty sure it was because I stopped to pee thinking it was going to be okay. And it completely ruined me and top of everything else, the lugs. And again, my mentality is not to make excuses. It's to like look at just what I can do to improve. But these were the factors. So I don't know if we can go into maybe like why you guys started to deteriorate, but I for sure know that those were some of mine. And I just cramped so hard. And when the sun came out, I stopped drinking water because I hadn't been drinking so much water. And then that fucked me up. Sodium, water, electrolytes, that whole shebang,
Yeah.
get a cramp. Starting to go down.
Yeah. I don't think I know, like, none of these are excuses or anything. Like, that's what's so interesting about this race is all of these were like tactical and technical mistakes. I actually don't think there's any such thing as excuses in backyard and the ultra game in general. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I chose bad shoes. I didn't choose the right shoes, and that caused me whatever to take damage for the first 16 miles. And every little detail, I think, just adds up in these races. That's why early on, I think you need to be very locked in. Like, for example, there's small things like, like keeping your body temperature low. I think the sun came out, I got so hot, and I'm thinking in my head before this race, because we did the sim and everything, I'm like, oh no, I'm good. Like, I crushed food that day. I know I can eat food, but then the sun came out and I legit was just nauseous thinking about eating any food.
Oh,
And so then, oh my God, yeah. Like, I'm curious about y'all's food story too, because the shoes and then the eating, those are the two things that did damage to me.
Hmm.
Y'all might be the same.
yeah, I think I stayed, which is so funny because I was actually very worried about my feet just becoming super blistered. Because again, we kind of spoke about it a little bit, just not knowing what that felt like. And I was honestly really worried about like, oh man, I can't really feel my feet. They're just so wet. They're just kind of just blocked in my shoes. I was like, I just kept thinking, I was like, dude, I need to just take my shoes off and just make sure that my feet are okay and I can just X this out of my mind. Worst decision because I changed to my hybrid shoes, and that was a lap that I DNF'd because I physically could not keep up.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
especially that late in the race when just that little bit, that 1 to 2 millimeters of those lugs allow you to have just that much traction cost me minutes. And honestly, part of my just motivation to like, man, can I even do this? Because I physically can't walk up this hill because I don't have the traction to do so. So I think it was part of that. Um, yeah, Austin as well with the body heat. When the sun came out, I took off. I could feel it when it was raining and it started to rain. That was the thing too. It was raining and it was becoming more humid. So I took my shirt off so I could cool down, and it helped. It helped a ton. I started to feel more life. But as it got more humid, I knew like, okay, this sun's about to come out, and this about to take some souls. Like this thing is not. This is not playing around today. This is about to be really rough. And as it got warmer, I was just drinking water. And at first, I had one of my Nathan bottles. It's like 20 ounces, 22 ounces, and I drank it like 35 minutes in. It was gone in 35 minutes, and I still had like 20 more minutes of running. And I'm like, dang, I'm behind already. I have no other liquids, and I'm
Yeah.
sweating this much to where I'm just like, I've been drinking water the entire race. That just shows how much you're sweating because you still want more to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was a piece of it. And I think, again, just that mud, it just breaks you down in ways that you can't really prepare for besides just massive amounts of volume, having the right gear and equipment, and just being technical about it. Like, goodness, dude. Again, I wish I would have. I saw people with the little the little bandana, ice bandanas that they had. I
Oh
saw
yeah.
he was he's running in front of me, and I see the cold ice water dripping down his back. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish that was me right now. That's what
Mhm.
I was thinking about. Like it was
I can attest to that. I tried it out. It was really great because I made the mistake of it was like lap 3 or 4 before the sun, but kind of really humid, like you were saying.
yeah.
Put on a rain jacket. I took off that rain jacket and I was steaming. You know, you steaming like Mary Kay was like, "You're steaming." I'm like, "Fuck, I fucked up."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Get me a bandana real quick. Let's put this around my neck because I am so hot right now, and there's no sun." And so I put it on. Huge. You guys should do it next time. It was awesome to just run with it, dripping down. I was like cold, obviously, but it felt really nice. And I also kept running out of water just because it just kept running out of water. It was really hot in ways unexpected.
That's what's interesting about it is like if like when I've been pondering all the things that I would do different, like for sure I'd be increasing my mileage and whatever, but like that would not be the first thing. That wouldn't even be like the first three things on the list, genuinely. Like
Yeah, true.
the first thing would be like I'm going to be if the next time I show up for any ultra race, I will be so unbelievably prepared with shoes. Like it's not even funny.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two is like as early as possible in the race, I'm going to be thinking about keeping my body temperature controlled. I genuinely think that's such a big thing. Like so like one big mistake that I made is I brought a lot of food. I didn't bring any like watermelon or like fresh fruit that could be kept chilled. I think that genuinely could have helped me a lot versus like I was out there I think I was eating like some gummy worms, some nerds like early on, and everything just got kind of warm, you know what I mean? Like everything was humid out there. There's mud all in your camp. So it's not like food doesn't feel appealing in general and you're hot. So watermelon or something that like just a staple food that you just love like watermelon. I think that would have done so much for me keeping me just cool. I would do the same thing. I'd bring so much ice. I'd be having ice on me. I think like Bobby or someone at some point when I went and sat in the chair, they put a big bag of ice over my neck and it was like boom, you just immediately feel 10 times different. And then yeah, the other thing like with the sun is and it's tough because like, how do you train for some of this stuff? I guess you just show up and you train in the sun all day. But I think another thing in my head was like, I was worried about being hot. I probably would have just covered up my whole body. Like I'd probably just go with a long sleeve
Hmm.
but I'd ice my neck or something like that just to keep my skin out of the sun but then try to keep my body temp cool with the ice. I think and then I would be worried about increasing my miles in the training
Yeah,
up to it.
that's right. That is true. 1 through 3 is not anything with the training. It's all the preparedness. It's just so crazy. Isn't that crazy though? Like, oh man, I don't know. Sometimes these things will humble you, but then like give you everything you need so quickly. Like it's a huge filter system too. And I wrote this down because it's like at the end, you know exactly what went wrong because you had so much time to think about it. And it's a slow drip. So you get to see like, oh man, I'm getting hot over the course of hours. This is going to F me. And like, it's a great filter system. And then mentally too, you start to go, you look at this hill, it's mud. You just changed shoes. You're like, I'm supposed to feel great. And you're like, walking up this is the last thing I want to do, but I have to. This is like the race. So the mental part, you start to filter out like it gets really shitty really quick. Um, so the mental part. Do you guys have any mental, other than like being prepared and like thinking about logistics, but like, do you have anything that kind of popped up of like difficulty, heat training? Like, what did you guys keep thinking about as you kind of ran? I don't know. Like
So
I've been trying to think about that.
I also don't think I said this, but I did 36 miles. I think I bailed on loop 8 or 9, I think halfway through. I don't think I mentioned any of that. But so yeah, I did like, 36 miles, 8 or 9 loops or whatever. Yeah, like me and Tyler were talking about this on our trail run yesterday of like the mental aspect of like how we would train for just being ready for something unexpected.
Mm.
And for me, it'd be like you have to set what you're going to train for the week. Like if on Saturday you're like, on Saturday I do a long run at 8 a.m. You cannot deviate from that. Like you have to do it under any circumstance. If it's hot, if it's raining, if it's whatever. So for me, like the biggest thing is just like the next time I train for this, it's just there has to be zero excuses. You cannot miss a training session for, anything that's not super, super serious life kind of thing. That's my opinion on it.
True.
Yeah. I feel like I was talking to I was talking to Austin yesterday, and I was really thinking about. I tell him like all these races, you learn so much from these races, and as you're trekking through the run, through the mud, and you're moving, you just kind of thinking like, man, one obviously like this sucks, this is rough, but it also gave me a good snapshot of like me at that point in time, like me at this point in time, I had this. I had this mindset, I had this vision of what I thought the race should have gone. Because all I've done is road races. I just completed a HYROX. And I think that the race is going to be like this. It's going to go like this. I'm going to get these miles in. I'm going to struggle at this point. But that's just not how life works, period. Even outside of fitness, there's so many things that are going to be outside of your control. And you have to just be able to, how do you deal with that? How do you train for things that you can't control? Are you just going to sit down, pout, and quit because this is just your circumstance right now? You have to find a way to talk yourself through some of these challenges. Um, so I think it was just consistent, like reinforcing myself. Like in that moment, I knew where my weakness was, like my mindset with my weakness. Like if I could have continued to talk myself in a positive way and not be like, man, dude, this is rough right now. Like this is not what I thought this was gonna be. Like I'm in this, and if I could have, just continue to just stretch a little bit longer. Like, man, even if I get in at 55, I got 5 minutes. It's better than 4 minutes. Just that change in mindset instead of, oh, it's not 10 minutes, the race is over. Like what type of like you have to find the good stuff. I remember this guy, I don't remember his name. I know y'all seen him. He was taller, um, blonde hair.
Yeah, he had a great attitude. Oh
Yeah,
man, I
Yeah.
saw him. Yeah, I remember him.
Mike, I think.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was Mike. And I remember I kept finding myself like by him. I'd hear him talking. And dude, there were some parts where I was like a little pissed running because like, dude, like I'm kind of struggling right now. And I'm listening to him and I'm like, dude, he has just such an amazing mindset. And I'm like, this is exactly what's gonna get him. Like this guy's gonna be here for a minute. And it's gonna be because he can continue to find the good things about this race and even keep his mind moving and he's not focusing on the negative parts of this. And that's just that's just a normal life lesson is where is your mind fixated on? It can be on the negatives or it can be on the positives. And you can just continue to take those consistent steps. So I was talking to Austin yesterday, like, how do you train that? Just training part of that, the open-endedness, training for the unknown, just training to keep your mind moving in like a positive way. So it definitely brought a lot of that to light. Um, and just making sure you just stay focused and let me focus on the goal. This is all momentary. It's a momentary light affliction. Continue to take your steps.
It's just
Um,
pain.
Oh, it's
it's
just
just
pain.
me.
True it,
And
baby.
there was also like many mental things across like each lap too, where there are checkpoints in your mind on the loop, and you'll check your watch and be like, okay, I'm at this point again. I'm a couple minutes behind what I remember I'd been at this point. So you're already thinking in your head, oh, I got to fight back a little bit more. Like I need to speed up my shuffling needs to get a little bit faster. You get a little bit worried. Even every loop, there's something to contend with. And like you said, Tyler, every single checkpoint in the race, you are going to have to find a way to stay positive. So, and that was the tough part of me. And I think even later in the race, one thing that really got into my head is, and I kind of wish I had less of a good watch, but I remember looking down when it was really hot out and just seeing, 4 hours till sundown or 4 hours till sunset. And that really started getting in my head because I was thinking in my head, like, can I just get through the day? Because the sun's really beating down on me. And so I actually think that was not a good mind space for me to be in, just constantly thinking about when's the sun going to go down. So, I have a lot of, I'd say overall, I really enjoyed the experience, but there are a lot of things I learned about myself out there, that a lot of weaknesses, a lot of, maybe I thought I was tougher than what happened out there. And so, I was also getting emotional and was just frustrated. I'd make a turn on one of the loops. I can literally picture certain spots on that trail where I knew, like, I would slip a little bit, or there's just water, and I am again, like, pulling my knee back into alignment and spending more energy. And once you're out there for long enough, I was getting frustrated with myself. I was tearing up a little bit, a little emotional, and just thinking back on all that is like, man, I started cracking a lot earlier than I thought I was gonna do. So yeah, there's a lot of disappointing mental moments for myself with how I handled a lot of stuff out there.
Hmm. I've come a long way too. My first marathon, I remember tearing up, crying a little bit at like 18. So I was like, this is really hard. This is
Facts.
really hard. And I think you know, classic. Everyone should do this because it gets you to a point where you truly can see yourself. It like breaks you down. It's what everyone talks about. Breaks you down. The sport breaks you down. Hard things break you down in life, but this you choose. And then it gets you that clarity of like, oh man, that's who I become when I am aggravated, frustrated. I'm not hitting my time, like whatever. Like it's tough. Also, like I've had that experience with just like training and stuff. I become a little bit aggravated and I don't become like the nicest person, and it's really sucks because I hate that about any sort of situation that turns me into someone I don't want to be. So that's a huge component that I'm glad you brought up, is like, who do you become? How do you deal with that? And then you can almost shake it off. Didn't cry this time, but once we start hitting those bigger miles, maybe there's another ceiling that's like gonna get us to that really emotional state. I think this is all very spiritual too, in a sense of like, you find something about your soul that you're like, I've been itching for this. I've been
And you
wanting this.
might
Like,
not like it.
and you might not like it,
Yeah.
but anything that creates, I heard this great quote. It was like, if something creates a big reaction in you, it's worth exploring because there's something there. Like the big reaction is coming from something huge within you that you need to explore. Whether it's like, it makes you angry, makes you sad, whatever, like the big reaction, you got to explore a little bit more. So glad you brought that up. And one of the bullet points was like taking all of this philosophy into life and stuff. I don't know if you guys have any insights there, but I'd love to hear some, like, how does this relate back into your life, or just like the little moments now, maybe?
Yeah. I think yeah, dude,
You
it's
talked about this yesterday, Tyler. You talked about this yesterday when you were talking about like, you almost experience a lifetime out there because you contend with, your training beforehand all the way to like you quitting something. I thought that's so true. Like, I think a lot of people talk about like these ultra races, or you see like, I don't know, Cam Hanes, or some of them will say, or even Goggins, like people go out there to find themselves, or you it these ultra marathons compress a lifetime of knowledge into, like a few hours or a few days, because, and I think that's true, and this is what Tyler brought up, is like, you go through all the like emotions, the thinking about, the regret type stuff. Like, do you regret? So it starts out at the beginning of the race, you're high on the emotions, and then you get into the race, and then once things get hard or you start getting frustrated, you start being like, well, did I train hard enough? Like, and then, maybe I skip some training sessions here and there. So you go through like reflecting on, did you actually prepare enough? And this is during the race. And then eventually you get to a point where, you're at the point where it's very convincing to quit. And so once you get to that point in your mind, and like for me, I just wasn't at the miles that I envisioned happening. So now you have to contend with, do I quit now? And then, there's a bunch of stuff in between there that, we could probably tease out, but it starts with like, all of that evaluation to the very end of like totally quitting something and tapping out, So I do think it's a whole life experience. And then after the race, it's all the reflection, which has been killing me actually in many ways, wanting to sign up for a new one to, right all the wrongs that occurred. So I think it really does compress everything into one event.
Yeah. Man, you just learn so much about yourself in these races. It really, it's just you out there. There's no one else. There's, it's just like seeing you in it's just magnifying glass. And it's like you're thinking about yourself and you can't hide. I was thinking about being on that wheat field and you can't hide. You're just out there. The sun is on you. You can't hide. There's no protection. You have to go the same path that everyone else is going. You are all going to the same destination. Everyone's going through the same suffering. And it's like, in the same sense, though, it's an equal playing field, regardless of your choices and what you've done up until this point, preparing for the race. Everyone's on the same lap if you haven't DNF'd yet, and you're all suffering. Everyone's at a different stage of this. And I think you think about life, and we're all sitting here in this moment talking, and we have our own experiences that have led us up to this point. Everything that's brought us up here, but we're in this moment experiencing this together. And just thinking about the race, dude, it's just you just get to these points where it's okay, this is me, this is my rawest form right now. I'm angry, I'm frustrated. I want to quit, but I know that I need to continue to go. And then you start to reflect on, oh, no, like what do you mean, Tyler? Like this is a consistent occurring theme. This isn't this is new. It's not that it's necessarily new, but it's just magnifying it. It was there. It's just magnified at this moment. Think about how when relationships don't work out, or whenever, how would you do with your children, or what would happen with work when you come into an event and you think you're completely prepared, you have this idea how you think it should go, but it doesn't. What is going to be your mindset and how are you going to adapt to that? And that's just putting the race up to the side. That is just strictly life. How will
Mhm.
you adapt whenever things don't go your way? And that is a lesson that every single person on this earth can learn from. And we all know what our patterns and our habits are. Things get tough. What do you do? And it was just this walking through the mud. It's like it's hard right now. And I have to make a conscious decision to continue to keep moving. Like I don't know if I'll be able to make it in the lap in enough time, but I'm just gonna continue to go because I'm just gonna give it everything that I have. And yeah, I think these races are amazing in that sense that you could pull from that and think about it just magnifies who you are. And there are people who for sure rise to the occasion, but man, a lot of us we just fall to level where we're at, and we have to live with that and deal with that.
Yep.
Hmm. Do you think? What do you think's more? What do you think is more affordable, ultra running or therapy? Genuine question because they're both at this point have taken so much from me. If I
Oh
had to compare
God,
them,
dude.
but both have given me also a lot. But I kind of like the running more. You're outside at least.
So, yeah,
It was really expensive, like, and dude, that is another big mental thing for me. Like, we're not professionals out here, and it's, to me, this is personally like, it's sometimes it's embarrassing in a way, like taking it so seriously and like taking myself so seriously, training so hard and all this stuff, spending all this money and not being a professional. It's like, it's just thinking like, "Oh, what is this guy? This guy is like trying so hard and then not getting the result that I want is like just another, nail in the coffin for just some embarrassment around taking it so seriously and trying to be competitive. So there's a lot of mental stuff there that I'm dealing with right now. I don't know if you guys can relate to that at all, but this just goes back into the early conversation that you were saying of like, we have full-time jobs, like we're not professionals and all that. And I think it's actually, it's really hard when you care a lot and you want to be good. I think, you know, I've been a little bit embarrassed with my performance and how seriously I've taken it, and that's probably another life lesson to take from the race, I'm sure.
How do you think I feel? I ran a 50K already. I jumped ship at 26.
Yeah,
It's awful. But
yeah,
I was watching, I forget what it was, but it was basically uh like where it was going into embarrassment and like kind of like you're not hitting something and it feels the expectation for this is the reality. What anxiety is, what all these different things are. And it's like I don't know the answer, but I know that each time you just get closer to the answer of like for yourself personally, because your experience is different than
yeah,
mine. Goals are different, everything like that. There's no concrete answer to that. I think
yeah,
it's just like a learning thing, and you just get better, and you're never going to be a perfect person. And
yeah,
the instance that you may show up one day when it's perfect, but then the next day it's just not going to be. So it's I really like that point of why do I feel this way? We're not professionals. We're trying so hard, but also at the same time, like we could be. Who says we can't? This is
mhm.
just
You
another
gotta spend
stepping
the money.
stone.
Hey, you gotta, the money
You
has
have
to
to
be
spend it.
spent early on. So, yeah, to answer your question, I mean, I probably spent, like, thousands. I don't know.
There's a lot
I haven't,
for
like,
sure.
taken the total tally, but maybe, like, you know a couple thousand. But again, like, I think it was just because I had no ultra gear at all, basically. But now I feel like I'm gonna take a lot of that gear to the next races. So I think it's just an initial. It hurts pretty bad at first, but again, it's like when you think about running, it's like, oh, you could just need a pair of shoes, and you're good to go. It's like a really inexpensive kind
Yeah.
of deal. So I actually think like I think you could get away with a lot, but I think ultra running is not a super, inclusive type of thing when it comes to how expensive it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to piggyback on the point you previously made about just you have one thing that I struggle with is obviously performance, but then also I would hold, and this is completely made up, I would think that people expected me to perform a certain way, and that if my performance didn't match this made up expectation that I thought that they had, then I was failing them, or I wasn't who I said that I was, which is there were no words said across both parties. This is just all in my brain, which is just, in a sense,
Yes.
it's hilarious, but in the same time, it's extremely destructive because again, this we're talking about in fitness. This stuff translates across other areas of your life. The communication that you have with other people, you going to work, and you think that your manager's telling you to do X, Y, and Z thing. You're not doing this, but here's a made up expectation that was never even said. So again, like I said, these races magnify things that and issues that you may have that are barely things that you may know, but it definitely makes it apparent in the middle of the race. And I feel like I've really definitely been in this season of trying to detach my identity from my performance because it is just so there is no fruit there. There's zero fruit with you attaching your identity to something that could change. That your performance is one of the most variable things. You could wake up one morning for your run and the weather changes and your performance on paper, the the numbers on your watch are completely different than yesterday because of the temperature. So now you just suck. Is that your heart rate's different? So now you're garbage. Or you come into race day and you prepared for 60 weeks. The weather changes and it's not in your favor. So now you're just garbage. Like I have to really start asking myself these questions, and it's, dude, that is a complete lie. And it's not um and outside of the gym, outside of work, again, our identity is not those things. So it has been a very interesting season of seeing that, and like finally being like I was truly okay, and I was happy with the performance, the 32 miles that I did, because given the circumstance, given the situation, we went out there and we went as hard as we could. Like there was nothing else about it. And the fact that we even stepped up to the plate, we even just tried to do it, and we're out there super uncomfortable, muddy. Like not many people are willing to do that. Um, but yeah, man, it's been a interesting interesting journey of trying to detach yourself from that and be okay with, if I never perform how I want to, am I still okay with myself? Like if I never hit the PR, if I never hit 100 miles, would I still love myself enough? Just because, that's a whole different, like, do I still love myself enough to where I'm not going
Yeah.
to break myself down because of a number?
Um, I think just talking about it is like, it- what did this do? Like we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Like also, isn't it? Maybe it's not men's mental health, but and maybe it is something like that month. But just think about that. Like we're able to like talk about self-worth and all these things with these races. Like that, I think that's why people go to do this. I remember, so Mike, the guy who's had a really great attitude, by the way, if his name is Mike, I saw his post and he was talking about his story, and he's a recovering drug addict and all these different things, and this is his words. He says and this sport brought out the best in him and has given him life again. People find this running stuff for different reasons. Some people to fix the value stuff. Some people to fix real serious physical stuff, that ailments and stuff that they needed to get rid of. But it's like it's getting you there, and it's really cool to see that. And I didn't know you guys had like these perspectives on it. Well, I'm really happy to hear that, because that's how I live my life as well. It's just kind of like, where do I gain value from, or at least think I do, and then like how am I able to release it? There's a sense of relief in stage 2 being release, and stage 1 was acknowledgement, right? Like you see it and then you let go of it, and that's the true beauty of anything. Like it's like the whole, if you see something, you let it go, spiel, whatever the saying. So I'm glad that you guys are doing that. I think if you were to post, and I think you guys do, Austin, I know you post a little bit more of like the content, like it would be awesome to hear more of those thoughts. I really enjoy that mental side of things, of like, what did this help me uncover? Yeah, bigger lugs, but like also, what am I tied to value? For
Mm,
me, I like to think of myself, and as an entrepreneur, I work for myself. Like I do these things selfishly to bring it into work, into life, of like, I can do hard things. I can pitch people hard stuff. I deserve a seat at the table. Imposter syndrome is fake and not real, because I can be like all these value things. So, I think that was just my spiel on my take on that. But I really enjoy you guys' like ideas on that. That's really interesting. And I'm curious to see how it goes moving forward. Like this is still, we're still kind of early in our careers. A lot of the people out there were older. Ultra running space, a lot of them are older.
yeah.
It's a sport that takes long, because you have to condition your legs, condition your body, and really like invest into it. And like I said, we're out here doing other sports. We're multi-sport athletes kind of thing, and we take each one of them seriously because we love them. And so it's like, take that with a grain of salt. There's only 24 hours in a day. You can't be running 4 of them if you have to do 2 hours of something else, and
Yeah.
you know 4 hours of work, or just whatever. You only have so much time, so much energy. Sometimes I wake up, I get a bad night of sleep. My watch says I have like a 70 battery. I'm like, great, I can only do so much today.
My
Like,
God.
how did I get 6 of 50 sleep score last night? I went to sleep fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys? I would love to just quickly touch on maybe for like a clip or something. Like, do you guys drink? How often? What's your relationship with alcohol right now, or in the last maybe year, 6 months? If that's okay to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've not been I think it's been 2 years since I've basically not been drinking other than, like, celebratory moments with my fiance Anna and I, or just certain occasions. And yeah, for me, it's like I'm not like anti-drinking or whatever, but I think it all goes back into this, like, I'm spending so much time and energy, money, and everything that it got to the point where I'm just like, I can't afford to take steps back right now, and I'm kind of in a period, and I know, and like what Tyler, what you everything you just said is like, I think you and I struggle with a lot of the same, like, identity kind of stuff, and I think I'm still chasing a good performance right now because I think I'm just coming off of 2 performances that I'm not super happy with myself about. Um, so, like, just for me, like, alcohol just doesn't fit into that picture for me.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. I mean, at this point in my life, like I'm not in college anymore. Like I would say definitely early on in school, you drink a good bit, but honestly, it really wasn't my thing. Um, I would say now even just professionally and then just as much as exercise, we'll have the occasional happy hour at work and grab like, a beer or two, or we may have a partner day celebration, have a drink or two. But outside of that, like I don't, keep alcohol in my place. I'm not ever purchasing alcohol for myself. It's always at a work event, and then for the most part, it's paid for by work. So it's never like it's not really anything that's consistent by any means. Maybe once every 2 months or so, maybe once a month, kind of in that frequency. But honestly, it's nothing that I really think about until it's like, hey, we've got a happy hour on the calendar. We're gonna go grab a drink or two at 4:30. So
Mhm.
it's definitely, but it's crazy. I mean, you can see how much it impacts your just your recovery. If you're looking at your sleep data, it 100% has an impact on your sleep data. Um, and it's just those few little times, just a constant reminder of, yeah, I'm so glad this is occasional because it can have an impact for sure.
Yeah. I had 2 weeks before the race, I did binge a little tequila with a friend, and I was like, oh, this is why I stopped kind of doing this for the most part. It hurt. It was really bad, and but it's in my blood. I'm Mexican. I have to do it sometimes. I gotta make sure. There's people looking at me as a role model, I think, and like as a Mexican, I have to be able to tell them like I can still get down, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's always an interesting one. People have there's a lot of different takes on alcohol and what people are doing. So I'm curious
Mhm.
what everyone's doing. But all right, cool. Like you guys want to jump into what's the next year hold? Like what do you guys got on the calendar? What's we talked about learnings, but like what you guys got going on for the next year maybe, or ideas of what could happen.
You got it, Tyler.
Got it. Oh man, I'm getting ready to start a new role. Honestly, actually tomorrow. So my first day of
Nice.
this new job. It's gonna be extremely demanding. So I'm not really sure what fitness goals would really hold right now. I think it would be kind of like I'll prepare as much as I can given the time that I have and just show up. I think I still find so much joy in the events and preparing in any way that I can. Um, and just showing up and just being a part, doing things like this and just finding community, making friends doing it. Like that's a big piece of what it's about as well. So I think that's gonna also help with the stresses of work and the monotony of it. Just getting out and just, when there's an event or, you guys say, hey, dude, like let's do this race. It's like, shoot, I might not have trained that much, but I'll just show up, just and just be a part. So my job will be pretty strenuous. It'll take a lot, demand a lot from me. So I'm not expecting to have, this crazy year, but man, like again, it's just love of the game. Just want to show up and just hang out, be a part, and do hard stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need to be. I don't think you have to hit 100-mile week. So, oh man, I can't hit my 100-mile week, so I just can't go sign up for a race. Like, nah, dude, it's just not how. That's a that's a mindset I had before. You can just, let's say I have a 20-mile week for three months. That's on average what I'm hitting. Still gonna sign up for the race. I'm not gonna expect to have this crazy time or crazy PR, but hey, like I'm just here to be around, and I think that's
Nice.
that's kind of where I'm shifting in this next season before transitioning out, and then we're gonna hit the ground running. But yeah,
Nice. I love that. Congrats, by the way, on the job.
shit that.
Big money, big money, big money. Nice.
Yeah, I have a wedding coming up in September, so I'm kind of on pause on signing up for new stuff right now. So um yeah, I'm just gonna be focused on preparing for the wedding. We're doing a mixed doubles the week before our wedding in September, Washington DC. So that'll be our first mixed doubles, and we did that also too because, again, like if I sign up for a solo, I'm just I'm just gonna take it too seriously, and if I don't want to have a bad performance the week before my wedding and then be bummed or something like that. So and then I think there's a Nashville HYROX I think at the end of the year that we might sign up for, but I'm uh I'm trying to figure out, like, it's tough. Like the hybrid thing has kind of been a good excuse for me to just like dabble in a bunch of stuff post soccer. So I think right now I'm trying to figure out like what I really enjoy doing. So HYROX was fun. This ultra stuff is fun. Um so right now I think I'm in this period that I get to chill and kind of reflect. I think eventually I'm going to I want to focus on something specific for a longer time. It's just hard to do right now because I've just been dabbling to see like what I actually like to do in the fitness world. So next year though is definitely going to be, and I talked to my fiance and about this, like next year so it'll be our post wedding year. I'm basically going to throw myself 100% at something. And right now I think it's going to be ultra running, mainly because HYROX is also expensive, but just in general, I think ultra marathon world is appealing to me personally because I think you can still have this strength component and a running component. Whereas, and this might just be something messed up in my head, but as opposed to like the marathon specific training and down, I feel like in my head, I'm like, I need to be as light as possible. I know, like Tyler, we've talked about this a lot where it's like, um, I don't want to do that. Strength training is a big part of my life. I want to do that so that I'm healthy when I get older. And plus, I just love lifting. I love deadlifting. I love, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I don't think I'm gonna. I do genuinely want to be great at something in the endurance space. I know that like I cringe saying that sometimes, again, because I'm so messed up with like these bad performances that it's all made up in my head, like Tyler said. It's this whole narrative in my head about like how I'm supposed to perform, and I haven't hit that yet. And so I think where I see myself in trying to be competitive in some area of endurance, I know is going to take focusing on that specifically and not doing all these side quests. And um so yeah, I mean next year is most likely, if I had to bet, is going to be me going pretty much all in on ultra training and starting with, I still need to do, I want to do a 50K. So I just haven't done with it. I need to do a marathon. God, I still can't believe I've never run a marathon. So I probably need to do that. But 50 miler, I definitely want to do. I want to do a 100 miler. I think some of the multi-day stuff just still seems kind of crazy to me. And
Oh,
again, I think it'd be too cringy for me at this point to say like that's in the cards for me. I don't know.
sit up in the
If
hospital.
anything, I've learned a lot from these couple of competitions, like signing up for like the pro solo with HYROX or signing up for this. Like I just went in thinking like, I could just body whatever, and truly, I think genuinely for me, it's like both these things were so humbling that in the future, I just know none of this stuff is going to come easy for me. I'm not just going to be able to show up and just, put up some huge numbers in some competition. So, yeah, if I had to bet next year after my wedding, I'm just going to be, I'm just going to be focused on ultra training more than likely. I think I like it a little bit more than HYROX. I'm not going to lie. I think the HYROX
Ooh.
training for me, I like HYROX. I do think it can get a little bit monotonous just being at the gym doing like the same erg work and I don't know, just repping wall balls and stuff like that. So I think there's something in ultra running for me, just being out on a different course, on a different trail with some unknowns that is just really appealing to me. So that's probably my future.
I love that. Yeah. I'll just quickly go over mine, but like, definitely, I feel you with the upping the scale, but 2026 is kind of busy. I think so. Yeah, there's some things. Running the Berlin Marathon. We're
Oh,
trying to do that, which is going to be fun. Fundraising, got the bib, so now we got to invest the money into the ticket and the thing. Oh god. And then if you guys want to do Charlotte Marathon, let me know. We can always run that. Uh it's a good one. It's fun. I did
I
that
am
one
doing the Charlotte
2022.
half. I am doing the Charlotte half. I
The one in
forgot about that.
November?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you're
Doing
running
the
the
half.
Charlotte. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I want to get faster. I feel like I'm just like a slow runner, whatever, but like it would be nice to feel fast, you know? You guys are pretty
Yeah.
quick. I don't know. It feels like nice to be able to just cruise and you're like 7-minute miles, 6-minute miles.
it's awesome. That's
Um,
not,
it's awesome. Yeah, I
that's
bet,
not me.
bro. I bet like I don't really. I'm like 8 is like maybe my fastest, but that's really about it. Um, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, and then feel you with the large milers. I would definitely want to do a 100 miler. There's one I'm looking at the end of the month, at the end of the year, but we'll see. And then for me, it's going to be an Ironman next year, throwing biking and swimming into it. I was never that great at swimming growing up, and I kind of want to learn technique. It's a new technique, you know? Technique is always really fun. I do martial arts and there's a lot of like body, hand to mental to body like connection. So by the way, if you guys ever want to pull up to the dojo, just train, feel that. It's different. It's a new challenge. It's awesome. It's very fun. I got you guys pull up to the dojo, but
Sweet.
Yep, dope.
that's another, yeah, it just feels really like different. So I think what we always are searching for is kind of like different. But one of the, I think the sign off for this podcast episode series that has continued to be like the theme is that um we have to forget about perfect and just chase better, right? It's the journey, not the destination. There's so many ways you can say it, but that is how I like to say it, is forget perfect and chase better. Just chase the next mile, the next step, the next goal. Um, and it's never going to be perfect. We came into this thinking that, man, it's so simple. You just get a couple of donuts, some water, some good shoes, and you could pull up and throw up 12 hours, these audacious goals. You know, even me, I was like, man, we're gonna go into the night. I'm excited. It's cool. I've only ran in the night once, like, but man, it's just crazy. We've
I
gone,
said I
yeah.
was gonna go 100 miles. I literally put that on one of my Instagram stories. Like
Let's go. Yeah, yeah,
and that just didn't happen.
yeah.
So
It's it's unexpected. It's never perfect. So you just gotta chase better. And for me to you guys is like thanking you for like bringing me into this. Also, like I wasn't signed up for this until I saw that y'all were doing. I was like, and then BPN did theirs. I don't know when, but like I was like, all right, let's do it. There's some other people doing it. I'll do it too. It looks fun. It looks like great training for bigger mileages too. And so it's cool. Thanks so much for like
are y'all
just
doing it
hanging
next
out.
year?
For sure.
Oh, I absolutely have
Okay,
to.
yeah,
I think
I
so. We have to come
so
back.
much unfinished business out there.
dude.
That course owes me something, to be
I'll come
honest.
back with a vengeance, dude.
It
Fun in
pickpocketed me.
a
It stole
way.
my wallet. Yeah.
By the way, dog.
So I appreciate y'all. That's the episode. You guys gave me all you got, and we can sign off here.
Cool.
At
Thanks,
that.
man.
I'm just gonna stop it.